What's up YouTube, this is RL Yoshi as usual. I'm Max, bringing you more Let's Play Asagao Academy okay, I know it's pronounced like Asagao. It sounds so weird when I try to say it though, that's the thing. Asagao. Asagao is just easier, honestly. I'll try, but anyway. Last time we went through some things, and now we're here in the library, and we're going to keep going through the library. I've read your comments and such, about what you think I should be doing in this game. Feel free to continue posting comments about who, what guys you think I should go after, etc. At the moment, I think I know what I'm going to do, but that could easily change depending on, what you guys are kind of going for. Like, right now I'm going with what I think is the popular vote. If that changes, then so will my decisions. Anyway, let's move on. It took me at least 20 minutes to find the library. By the time I realized I was holding the map upside down, been there done that, the sun was setting. The library was much larger than I expected, the walls lined from floor to ceiling with books of all sizes on rough wooden shelves. Intimidated, I headed for the front desk. Why are you intimidated by books? Scary, scary books. A recognizably green and gray jacket was bent behind the counter. Normal boots. I briefly considered running away. Hey. Can I help you? I don't know what he sounds like, so I don't know what kind of voice to give him, sorry. Too late. Yeah. The school forgot to give me one of my textbooks. I was told I could get it here. Which one is it? Oh, he's annoyed. He's pissed. The History 309 textbook. And now he's not. He stepped from behind the counter and motioned for me to follow. We dodged between the aisles in a comfortable silence. He seemed friendly enough. I should say something. What was his name again? Shane? Gerard? John? No, not John.
Satch.
Satch! Huh? Well, good job. You said his name out loud. Now you've made things awkward. Oh, you work here? Of course he worked here. He chuckled, dimples appearing in his cheeks. Yeah, I'm the librarian's assistant. It's my second year, and I love it. I get to help people find books that speak to them. His eyes twinkled like a kid's on Christmas. Your book's right down here. He stomped at a row of thick, dusty books. Was this all history? And pulled out the book with the powder-wigged man I saw earlier. Thanks. He waved his hand. It was nothing. Do you need help with anything else? I wanted to make a good impression on the Normal Boots Club, but I couldn't come up with anything. No. Thanks.
Copacetic.
What? What did he say? Copacetic. I can't tell. He either said something in a foreign language, or I just really couldn't hear him. But it sounded like composetic or some composetic. Got it. You're welcome. Composetic. As we headed back through the cavernous library, my unease melted away. We weren't talking, but just being near him felt like being wrapped in a soft blanket. I resisted the urge to snuggle up to him. No, man, do that. Do it. Nothing bad will happen. We neared the front desk, stepping around a clump of studying students. As we passed, one of them shifted. The music stopped. Shit's about to go down. Eh? Something white flew past my face. A thick piece of triangular paper lay at my feet. I bent over and picked it up. It was surprisingly heavy. There was a quarter inside of it. You throwing money at me now? If I was just a hair slower, it would have hit me in the face. The students snickered, and I recognized the boys that made fun of my hair this morning among them. My heart dropped. I scanned my memory for anything I might have done to offend them, but came up with nothing. They're just giving you money. There's nothing wrong with that. Throw them in the trash compactor. My hand started to shake. I hid it behind my back, trying to think of some way to defend myself. Why did you do that? What do you mean? We were just messing around. Are you suggesting we did it on purpose? I faltered. There was nothing I could say. I was outnumbered. They would twist my words around no matter how straightforward I was. No, sorry. One of the boys held his hand out for the paper. I inched closer to give it to him, angry at myself for being so compliant. I wish I were... A gentle warmth closed over my hand and took the paper from me. Satch examined the paper closely. Punch them in the face. Punch them in the face. Also, I keep forgetting I can just move the mouse off screen and just use spacebar. I see what the problem is. Your aim would be better if you cut the corners before you folded it. He placed the paper on the table. The boy looked at him in sheer awe. Be careful, though. You almost hit her, and that would have been awful. I would have had to strangle you and then rip your arms from your body and beat you to death with them. And that would not have been fun, except probably it would be. My hands began to sweat as panic shifted through me, afraid of the response, but... Geez, we're sorry. We'll be careful next time. Yeah, it was an accident. They apologized? Thanks, I appreciate it. He gave them a wide smile and continued off down the aisles. I followed closely behind, my legs weak. I wonder if that wide smile carried an air of, don't meet me in a dark alley, bitch. Don't tell me they stopped because of him, simply because I was with him? I wanted to thank him, but my heart was pounding so hard I knew my voice would shake. We reached the front counter and he scanned the history book. My lips trembled as I willed myself to say something, anything to thank him. He tilted his head to the side. What books do you like to read? Oh, fiction? Yeah, is there anyone who actually likes reading nonfiction unless they are actually planning to go into a career about history or something? Because, like, I feel like nonfiction can be interesting, but it doesn't seem like something you would go out of your way to read. Unless, you know, that's your career. But still, like, you get my point. He chuckled. I just finished a good book. I think it'd be right up your alley if you don't mind me saying so. He reached under the counter, pulled out a thick green book, and passed it to me. A man in black stood on the front, hugging a woman in royal robes. It's long, but it's one of my favorites, that's what she said. The Princess Betrothed. I know things can be tough transferring to a new school. If you're ever worried, just read this. It'll transport you 100 miles away in a second. Literally, it's got teleportation technology in it. Tears stung my eyes, so I ducked my head.
Satch.
Thank you, Satch. For more than just the books.
You're welcome. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think I got your name.
My name is Hana Mizuno.
I'm a transfer student, because she said the first half of that sentence for me.
Hana.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Hana. Let me know how you like the book. I'm noticing that, like, they got the actual, like, these people in real life to, like, record voice clips. And I'm noticing that, I think I'm noticing a pattern here. They recorded, like, a couple sounds, hello, and Hana. And I'm wondering if there's, like, anything else. Like, I assume we'll find out, but I wonder just how much they actually had the people record for this.
I will.
And then we were done in the library. Goodbye. That couldn't have gone better. Except it maybe could have if paper wasn't thrown at you. Not only was Satch impossibly kind and possibly a serial killer, but being around him felt easy, refreshing. Like being doused in the mist of a waterfall. Oh gosh, what was I thinking? Yeah, how is that comforting, being doused in the mist of a waterfall? If that's happening, that means there's a waterfall near you, which is not comforting. My cheeks hot, I left the library, 2 surprisingly heavy books under one arm. I settled into bed, eager to get started with my new reading material, but... Mai was sitting at her desk, carving a pencil idly into the pages of a notebook. Every few minutes she released a long, drawn-out sigh as the lead of her pencil whined against the paper. I lowered my book and took the bait.
Is something wrong, Mai?
Asagao's stingers. Like, bees or something? She let out another dreary sigh. I hope Senpai notices me this year. I had to, I'm sorry.
Does Jared know you like him?
Mai whirled around in feigned shock.
What?
I don't like Jared!
Really? You believe her? The fuck, girl? Also, the pencil noises are still going on. I closed my book and set it aside, deciding to play along.
Well, have you at least tried talking to him? No, I mean... I have before. Why don't you try again?
She bobbed her head from side to side, considering this like it had never crossed her mind before. Would not be surprised if it hadn't.
Yeah, maybe I could do that.
Satisfied, I picked my book back up.
Have you ever had a boyfriend, Hana?
What?
Huh? Me? No, never. Really? Never? Never. Never. I bet you, 10,
that's yen, right?
I bet you 10,000 yen that you meet a totally cute boy here and fall in love by the end of the school year.
Well, this is a dating sim, so that's probably gonna happen unless I choose to go down your route, assuming you have one. She doesn't, which is annoying.
You're crazy.
Excuse me, ladies. I buried my face back in my book, barring mine from any further discussion. Fall in love by the end of the year? Me? That would never happen. It's not like I'm the protagonist of a romantic visual novel or anything. If I were a betting kind of girl, I'd take that bet. Wait, so... Oh, okay, so she's... Okay, I get you. For a moment, I thought she was saying that would happen. I awoke the next morning with what felt like a lizard in my throat. That's very specific. Mai was already up, shuffling through her school bag with an enigmatic grin. The first day of school.
Hana!
You're finally awake! I'm never going to be able to put as much energy into my reading of her as she puts into her own lines. Her voice sliced through the air like a knife and I winced. She was definitely a morning person. Get out of here!
It's time for the first day of school. Aren't you excited? I can't wait to see what's going to happen. What do you mean? Is something special happening today? Something strange always happens on the first day of school, especially to someone like you. She winked.
What?
Someone like me? Well, yeah, you... At least they're hitting the tropes on the head. I'll give them that much. They are right. Something weird always happens on the first day of school to the protagonist who has weird hair color. They got that nailed down. Someone like you? You know what I mean. She smiled and started messing with a pile of papers on her desk. Shaking my head, I got out of bed and pulled my uniform out of my closet. My palms sweat as I held the gold vest and blue jacket. Was it really possible for things to be different here than they were at home? What if the problem wasn't actually the school? I shook the thoughts out of my head and changed into my uniform. Oh! What is it? You look so cute! I mean, it's the same uniform that presumably everybody has, so... How does it change anything?
Really?
Really? Heat crept up my neck.
Yeah!
Yes, completely! Your hair matches your uniform so well. You look like a flower blooming straight out of the ground. Thank you. Water stung the back of my eyes, and I turned to start packing my backpack. Why was I getting worked up about something as little as this? I must have gotten less sleep than I thought. Is something wrong? No, nothing's wrong. I'm just happy. How dumb was that? I started crying at the first sign of someone being nice to me. I took a deep breath to steady my nerves. What an oddly menacing THUD! Did she just, punch me in the face? All the air left my lungs as something like horse hooves slammed against my back. Oh my god, she's secretly a horse. This explains so much. Now looks pissed. You'll do just fine. Don't worry, this is gonna be awesome. I stiffly peered over my shoulder. That was you?
What?
Huh? Mai stood behind me, her hand raised. Somehow she had the strength of a bodybuilder. Nothing. I was just about to zip my bag up when I spotted the book Satch gave me lying on my nightstand. The Princess Betrothed. He said that if I ever needed to be transported somewhere far away, I could take it with me. It was pretty good so far. Maybe it would be smart to bring it along, just in case I had no one to talk to between class periods. Would I need it for my first day of class? Yeah, okay, I will say this. While I do know what I'm gonna try for, and in terms of this, and I know more or less, presumably it's like, whenever this character is involved, do what they would like the most. Some other choices, I have no idea what they do or if they affect anything. So what I'm probably gonna do a lot of the times when choices like this come up is I'm just gonna go with whatever makes the most sense to me. So if I do something that turns out to just screw something over, then I mean, c'est la vie. I'll do it differently on the next playthrough or something. This time around, I'm not gonna take the book because the logic there doesn't make much sense. You're at school, you're either going to be in class, in the 5 minutes between class, eating lunch, or on a break period. And if in that last case, that's the only time I can see you wanting to read a book, But I feel like it's probably better to be social during break periods. Assuming there are other people during those break periods. So, yeah, I'm gonna say no to the book this time around. I was meant to say, that is the happiest ellipses I have ever seen. No, today would be a great day. I couldn't give up before I even started. You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Stick with me and you'll be fine. Mai opened the door and together we stepped into the hallway, merging into a steady flow of chittering girls and fruit-flavored perfume. Oh my, I did not know we lived on the same floor. No way, really? That's so awesome. Now I'll be able to catch up. Whatever happened between you and... The river of girls shifted as we headed down the stairs. Suddenly I found myself surrounded by a bunch of people I didn't know. Good job on helping out with the whole stick with me thing, Mai.
What a jerk.
Oh wow, what a jerk he turned out to be. Mai's exclamations faded into the buzz of voices in the air. Oh no. What would I do if we got separated? Anxiously, I searched the crowd of girls for Mai, but I couldn't find her. Everyone was dressed in the same Asagao uniform. There we go. Third time's the charm. It was difficult to tell anyone apart, and being so short really didn't help the situation. As we turned the last corner down the stairwell, I saw a flash of red hair a little ways in front of me. Mai? I reached between the two girls and tapped her on the shoulder. Calling it, it is not Mai. Knew it. Huh? Oh, who are you? The girl's eyes flashed, almost like a jolt of electricity shot through them. She's evil! I'm sorry. I thought you were someone else. She said nothing and turned away. Before I knew it, I stood outside of Primrose House, watching the flow of girls disperse across campus. Mai was nowhere to be seen. I couldn't even hear her chirpy voice. Oh, man. Great going so far. We're doing great. I took a deep breath, biting my lip. This wasn't a big deal. I could go to class alone. But I didn't even know where the building was. Here's a hint. You're staring at it. I reached into my backpack and dragged out my class schedule. Homeroom. 206 Poppy Hall? Which one was Poppy Hall again? Weren't the classrooms on the other side of campus? Isn't this a high school? Because here's the thing. I can understand a university can be like this. A college? Maybe. A high school? No. What kind of high school has A, dorms, and B, multiple buildings for the classes? High school, I don't think, does that. Not usually. I have never seen or even heard of a high school that does that outside of fiction. I picked a direction and began to walk, trying to ignore my rising panic at the thought of arriving late to the first day of class. As a third year where no one knew me, all of the people staring. Hey, you okay? You look a little lost. I could tell just from that hey who it was. Someone called out to me and I turned around, almost jumping for joy. When I froze. A Normal Boots jacket. He was part of the Normal Boots Club. Why do you attract the Normal Boots Club? Like, you just got here, and already, this is the third Normal Boots Club member that you have interacted with personally. Like, you've had Jared, then Satch, and now, let's face it, it's John. I could practically feel my tongue swelling in my mouth. If this was a Normal Boots Club member, I had to make a good impression. He was one of the founders, right? And they must be... JonTron! Yes. I'm new. I don't know where Poppy Hall is. You a freshman? No problem. My class is in Poppy Hall. I'll walk you there.
Really?
Really? That would be wonderful. Thank you. Was this really happening? He began walking toward a large brick building in an enthusiastic manner, pumping his arms up and down like he was in some kind of show tune. I fell into step beside him. I don't know, he looks like he's just standing there, if you ask me. I didn't notice it when Mai pointed him out to me yesterday, but JonTron had big brown eyes and a warm-looking face. He was basically a human puppy. Okay, I'll take your word for it. I glanced up at him out of the corner of my eye. Eep! A bird on his shoulder. Yeah, that was pointed out to you earlier. Oh my god, the bird is also wearing a Normal Boots Club jacket! Oh my god, Jacques, really? They gave Jacques a jacket. Birds always made me uncomfortable. Something about the ease with which they could poke out someone's eyes. Is something wrong? Why'd you stop? No, nothing's wrong. He followed my gaze to the bird on his shoulder.
Hey.
Oh, this is Jacques. Isn't he cute?
Nice to meet you.
It spoke? Yeah. He put his hand to his shoulder. Jacques jumped into his palm. Jacques is a robot bird, see?
Hello.
Jacques' eyes gleamed a dangerous red when he spoke, but nothing else suggested he wasn't a normal bird.
Besides the jacket!
In fact, if I hadn't known better, I would have said the red in his eyes was painted on. That's amazing. Jacques twitched his head to the side, examining me in return. The more he looked at me, the less afraid I was.
What are you looking at?
What?
What? Nothing? I'm sorry. Oh yeah, Jacques could be a little sassy.
Who are you calling sassy? I'm not the sassy one. I don't forget to feed you. Jacques, that was one time! I was alone and starving in the frozen tundra of this empty world, loveless, afraid.
Ignore him. I've been bringing him with me to the drama club, and he's taken a little too well to it.
I see how this is. Shut me out like I have nothing to add to the conversation.
Jacques retook his place on Jean's shoulder, this time facing away from us as if miffed. We resumed our walk towards Pompey Hall. I'm Jontron, by the way. Call me John. Hana, nice to meet you.
Hana.
Hana, that's a cute name. Thank you. Is that something you normally tell someone, that their name is cute? I've never done that. So how long have you had Jacques? Since middle school. We've been together for 4 years now, ain't that right?
I'm not listening.
Yeah, well. I love him to death. I don't know what I'd do without him. It seemed like life would be a lot easier without him, but who was I to say? We arrived at the brick building. A white sign surrounded by poppies declared it to be, unsurprisingly, Poppy Hall. Which room are you in? Room 206.
Really?
Seriously? Yes. That's my homeroom. We're in the same class. That is a very John laugh, I'll give him that. It is John. John laughed and clasped me on the shoulder. Wonderful! I guess I'll be seeing more of you then, right?
Yeah.
Right. Together, we entered Poppy Hall. Poppy Hall was lined with fluorescent lights and Asagao blue lockers. The lack of students milling around the hallways indicated we were a bit late. We ran up the stairs and made it into the classroom just as the bell rang. My heart caught in my throat. Thankfully, the teacher hadn't come yet. Instead, students clumped into tight pods and milled around the classroom, catching up on vacation news.
John.
Thank you so much for showing me to class, John.
See you later.
No problem, I'll see you around. He waved and disappeared into the wriggling mass of students. I glanced around the room looking for an empty seat.
Hana.
Hana! Oh, there you are, Ditchy McDitcherson. Little ditcher. Mai peeled herself out from between a cuddling couple. Why were you in the middle of a cuddling couple? What's going on here, Mai? You got some explaining to do. Was that Jontron? Were you just talking to Jontron? Yeah. Mai's eyes widened, and I couldn't help feeling a little smug. I realized I didn't know the way to class after you and I got separated because you ditched me, fucker, and he offered to walk me. Mai emitted a highly pressurized squeal, which you have just heard. Jontron walked you to class? Oh my gosh, you have to tell me everything! She grabbed me by the wrist and pulled me to an empty desk in the back corner of the room, right next to the window. I saved you a seat. I slid in and took off my backpack, hooking it on the side of my desk. I was a little bit worried the books inside were too heavy for the bag to handle, but so far it held up well. Sorry we got separated, by the way. Ditchy McDitcherson. It can get a little chaotic sometimes. So tell me, what happened? What did he say? What do you smell like? Does he have peach fuzz? Is it rough? On that line of questioning, we're going to end this episode off. So, I've been Max. Mai is a little bit creepy. Satch is a little bit creepy. Everyone's a little bit creepy here at Asagao Academy. Yay! See you next time, hopefully with fewer improvised musical numbers.